Welcome to this new HTML5 lesson. In today's lesson, we will continue our work with the HTML forms. And in today's lesson, we will learn about the radio button and the checkbox controls. I have started a project, named it radio and checkbox input.html. The title says HTML radio button and checkbox input. And I'm gonna come here and, like in the previous lesson, I'm gonna start with the form tag and I'm gonna close it. I'm gonna come to the middle and open a field set tag and of course close it. And inside this field set I'm gonna have a legend, and the legend will give me a title to my form. So let's say here legend, and I'm gonna close the legend tag, and I'm gonna say here choose your pizza, for example. Basically this form will give the user a choice to pick a pizza size, whether small, medium or large. Then the user can also add some toppings to it. Alright, so first thing we're going to do, we're gonna start with a label, and I'm gonna close the label, and here I'm gonna come and say for. I'm gonna add the for attribute, and the for attribute specifies which form element the label is bound to, as we will see very soon. Alright, so I'm gonna say for large. Okay, and I'm gonna come here and open the input tag, add the type attribute equals, and as we said in the previous lesson, setting the value of the type attribute to a text will give me a text box. Password will give me a text box for a password. If I set it to a radio, it's gonna give me a radio button. If I set it to checkbox, it's gonna give me a checkbox control. So I'm gonna say radio, and I'm gonna come here and say ID equals large, and here the ID has to match the for attribute. The value in the ID attribute, the value here, has to match the value here. And when we use the ID attribute, we are basically saying that this radio button right here, this radio button, is associated with this label. So when you click on the label, the button, the radio button, will get checked instead of clicking the radio button itself, as we will see later when we run this document. Okay, I'm gonna say name equals RBN size. Then I'm gonna come here and say value equals L, like that. And basically here the name is used when you want to submit the form to the server, but the ID is used for different purposes. As we said, it's used to associate the input with the label, and it's also used so that you can control the element in CSS and JavaScript. Alright, so let me copy all this, press Ctrl C, come right here and do Ctrl V. Sorry, one more time here and Ctrl V. Alright, and I'm gonna come here and change it to medium, and come here and change it to medium, and come right here and say small, and right here and say small as well, and here in the middle, I forgot to do that, I'm gonna say large. That's what the user is going to see. And here I'm gonna say medium, and here I'm gonna say small. So the user is gonna see this, is not gonna see this. Okay, he's going to see the large, the medium, and the small, but he's not going to see this. This is for the browser. And of course here I'm going to change that to M and this one here to S. The name remain the same because these are in the same group. So radio buttons that have the same value for the name attribute are in the same radio button group, and I want to group these radio buttons together. Alright, I'm gonna press Ctrl S to save it, come here to the run and launching Chrome, and there is my radio buttons. Watch, if I click here, it's gonna check it. Alright, I click here the label, it's gonna check it. Also I can click the radio button itself, and notice the radio button is used to let the user select one of limited number of choices. So when we use the radio button, the user can only select one option, as you can see here. Alright, let me close this. And here I have a code which I'm going to paste to save time. I'm going to come here and do this. Alright, let me explain the code. Let's push this for readability. Here I have labels. For each label I have for attribute with a value for the attribute. Here I have mushrooms, onions, green pepper, and olives, and this is what the user is going to see right here. Alright, this green pepper right here between the label, when we open the label tag and when we close it, what's in the middle, that's what the user is going to see. Now in the input tag I have the attribute type with the value checkbox, and that's going to give me a checkbox. The ID is mushroom to match with this here, and the name is chk topping, that's for check box topping, and the names I did not change because these are the same group. The value is mushrooms, and I did that for all this here. Alright, let me press Ctrl S to save, come right here and launching Chrome, and these are my checkboxes. And notice the difference now between a checkbox and the radio button. The checkbox, I can have more than one selection. Okay, I can choose more than one option. Okay, but in the radio button I can only have one option, as you can see. Alright, that's the difference between the checkbox and the radio button. And this is how we work with the radio button and checkbox controls in the HTML. And with this we come to the end of this lesson. I thank you for watching, and you have a good day.